Hi, in this video, we're going to talk about how our emotions and feelings get distorted when the risk is high. It happens in most startups. The definition of a startup involves risk. Even when you are on your own, when you're a solopreneur, when you are an entrepreneur, you want to do something, you're evaluating risk. And how you are evaluating risk is definitely going to affect how you're feeling about it. Let us see what the basic emotions are. Now, scientifically, the basic emotions are fear, anger, sadness, disgust, and joy. And you might agree because there is one more emotion, which is surprise. And I have categorized it as a combination of joy and fear. Now, some may disagree, but as far as high risk environments are concerned, we are now going to look at how these basic emotions are completely transformed to something else. When you know that, you can actually identify. Many a times we don't know we are scared. We are so passionate about something. And I call it passion coated fear. You're so passionate about something that you are not even realizing that you are feeling fear, you're feeling anger, or you're feeling even joy. There is a different version of joy. Let me start with joy. Joy in an entrepreneurial environment, in a startup environment, in a creative environment, feels like you are in the zone. It's a state of high focus that gives you amazing happiness. You are in the zone. Programmers, painters, artists, anybody who is doing something creative, anybody who is trying to put a dent in the universe is in a focus state, and that is their version of joy. It also feels very secure and safe. You're not worried about anything in that state. Other versions are when you feel pride. I met someone who created a very nice painting, and she was looking at the painting for a few minutes and saying, "This is amazing," to herself. She didn't need any kind of verification from someone else. She was not waiting for the opinion of people looking at the painting. She felt pride in that. And that is a version of joy in these high risk environments. Because there is risk, you feel a sense of relief when you achieve this state, when you're doing something where you are actually coding towards the functionality that you wanted. You're creating a painting that you really want to sell for your business or is appreciated. You're creating a song, you're creating something else, you are doing something challenging in your own field. Even when you're doing something physical like running or being in a sport that really gets you in the zone, you feel a sense of relief. You feel a sense of safety and security. You feel a sense of pride. You feel connected. Two people in in that kind of state, they understand what they are going through. That is the version of joy. Now the other feeling was disgust. You feel offended. Oh my gosh. You feel a sense of being horrified. You have an aversion to that situation, that person that is giving you that feeling. You may not label it as disgust, but this is a version of disgust that you are feeling. And of course, you don't approve it. And of course, it completely changes your state of mind. You are not at peace. You feel disturbed. That is a version of disgust. Whenever you're feeling that, let's say in front of an investor, let's say in front of a team member, or in front of yourself, that you got to catch it there. There are various ways in which you catch these emotions and feelings and process them in a different way so that you can actually go to the green zone. I have explained what is the green zone in another video. You have various zones, and when you are in the green zone, you are at your best. What's the next one? Sadness. When you are extremely passionate, you might completely skip sadness. You might be biased. Remember, we talked about mental biases and filters and perception biases. If you don't, you can check out the other video. But in here, we don't realize that we are sad. We are so obsessed or uh, so engaged in our vision, in our execution, in our passion for our startup, for our challenge, for our physical activity, whatever is giving us that sense of purpose. We have forgotten that sometimes we are lonely. We feel disappointment. Disappointment is a version of sadness. There are many, many times you feel hopeless if there is no road to revenue and you are creating it. That road takes some time to be created, and you feel hopeless. If the team member leaves or if something happens in your life, instead of the basic emotion of sadness, you actually go into a state of mourning as if you lost somebody. Again, we have another video where we have shared how do people in high risk process loss. But this is a version of being sad. It goes straight to mourning, it goes straight to grief. You may not realize it, but literally it is like losing someone in life. And of course, many places, because of hopelessness, because of being in grief, because of disappointment, and because you're lonely, you're kind of feeling lost. And that is something that could relate to many people. They don't know, am I doing the right thing? Is it going where I want it to go? This is extremely, extremely, extremely important to detect. Again, when you catch something, when you detect something, you can do something about it. The next one is anger. Anger, I believe, is a secondary emotion. It comes because of something else. It is not something that you are born with. It comes because of something else. But many times, even anger is not recognized in a high risk environment, whether it is a startup or even your own work life, existing current work life. In fact, many a times, if you see some of the successful entrepreneurs, they are highlighted that they are angry people. They really may not be. They are expressing something else. It's a secondary emotion. And many times, again, passion-coated fear, you may not even realize that you are angry. But what you are actually feeling is a constant sense of frustration, constant sense of being confused. What the hell is happening? Excuse me, constant sense of being insulted or being cheated by someone or even yourself or the situations or investors or the work life or the money situation and so on. And it goes on towards a sense of bitterness which keeps coming. You become sarcastic, and you start feeling that. But at the end of it, these are all versions of feeling angry. The last one, in fact, it all starts with this, but I kept it till the last. I wanted to start with joy. Fear. Fear is one of the basic emotions. You doubt yourself. Other people doubt you. You reflect their feelings. You feel worried. You feel nervous. It goes to panic and desperation. May not realize that these are all various forms of being scared. In fact, in your positivity, in your enthusiasm, in your passion, you might actually say that, no, this is not at all fear. I'm not scared of anything. But inside, you're panicking. No, what you show to someone else is something else. Maybe you are putting up a front for a different reason. But you got to realize that this is something that you're feeling. Once you realize that, once you detect it, once you catch it, you can do something about it. How you process these emotions and feelings determines whether you are on top of it or they are on top of you. When they are on top of you, it's pretty difficult to manage risk, to understand what exactly is happening. Perceptions come in, your inner critic comes in, and all of a sudden you're feeling very, very weak. You started to create a dent in the universe, you started to create a dent in your life, you wanted to change something, but it's not happening because unknowingly there are some emotions coming in, but you have not detected them. You think, oh, this is part of the stress of life, this is part of the stress of the startup. People glorify these things, and this is not to be glorified. This needs to be processed. Excuse me. What will change? after you have seen this video, after you have started realizing that these are the emotions that are affecting me, the first thing that will happen is you will start to catch them. Next time you're panicking, think how you will process basic fear. You have a framework ready. We will give these frameworks in other videos. We have these science-based frameworks ready because this is not something new. Everyone faces these emotions, everyone faces these feelings, and once you catch this, you can process them, you can do something different. You don't need to be controlled by them. You will be on top of them. In all our videos, we give some kind of a template where you can follow through this tracking. This is a very simple table. You could just take a pen and paper and create it, or take a screenshot and print it out, or you can download it from our website. But what it shows is when you start one day at a time, you write down, this is a very generic template, but you can just customize by writing down that what was the emotion that I caught? Was I in the zone for 50% of today? Was I panicking? Was I in a state of disgust for one of my investors or team members or just myself? And once you start writing down, you've started to catch them. Do it for one day. Don't think about the next day yet. Tomorrow, do it for another day and another day. And just stick to 1 week. Once you start for 1 week, you might do it for another week, but as you do it, you are already starting to see what's happening and how do I process. Using the tools given in the rest of the videos, you can start processing them in a healthy way, in a science-based way, which gives you solution to come out of the emotion and focus on your real startup. Focus on the real reason why you wanted the startup, why you wanted to do the change in life, what is going to change in your work life, whichever state you are in. You can actually focus on the real reason instead of being troubled by all these emotions. I believe this was useful. For more videos, subscribe to our channel and see you in the next video.